down and share the rest of the stuff with you. Again, the 19th Emirp. Okay. Now we're looking at 209 and 422. Remember, 209 was the index of the 2917 in the domain of the Gaussian composites. 422 is the index of the same number, 2917, in the domain of the prime numbers. Okay? So in those two domains, it has two indices, 209 and 422. So 68 semi-prime happens to be 209. The 133rd semi-prime happens to be 422. The frequency of noon in Surah 68 is 133. It tells you that right there, 68, 133. Okay? That means I don't have to argue with anybody. I don't have to do it. There it is, right here. That's the power of mathematics. That's what God calls it, a protected tablet. This is not a tablet which is in some cave in the Middle East or something like that, okay? This is available to everybody no matter where they are. And it happens that chapter 68 in the Quran, which is noon, has 133 frequency of noon in that chapter. So it actually generates that. Before somebody argues that should I write there or noon. Okay? It tells you write noon and stop arguing. That's what it tells you. Okay? 133 happens to be 19 times 7. 197, Emirp is 9127. Okay? So we went from the argument of noon in chapter 68 to 9127. Okay? So, question comes up. Okay? Why is he writing 19 before 7 to get at 197 so it will be the index of 9127? Okay, we'll put on the other side. We put 9 on the other side. 7 on the other side. Becomes 719. Okay. 719 happens to be the 67th additive prime. It's an additive prime. It's 9 plus 1 is 10 plus 7 is 17. So this number, 17, is a prime number, so this number is an additive prime. In the domain of the additive primes, it happens to be the 67th one. 67 is a prime number. Its index is 19. 19 times 67 is 1273, which is the frequency of the word God in 9127. Okay. God says, bring your reason if you're truthful. Bring your proof. Where's your proof? How else God can tell us about this? Okay. And I haven't gone beyond it. Okay. 19 is the index of prime number 67 is also the index of composite 30. And chapter 67 has 30 verses. So it tells you over and over and over again. But it always comes back on the path to all of these other specific properties of the Quran. All these parameters of the Quran. Number of verses, number of initials, all of these things. It always comes back to this 9127. And sometimes it actually tells you, look, you believe in those other things, don't you? Yes, sir, we do. Okay, well, if that's the case, then this has to have 9127. Otherwise, it cannot work. Again, this is that tablet that God is talking about. That protected tablet. This tablet cannot be touched by anybody. This tablet cannot be destroyed. If this galaxy vanishes tomorrow, there are 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. That's an estimate. Okay? An estimate is there are 2 trillion galaxies. That's two, let's see, what is it? Yeah. 2 million galaxies in the universe. And so, as I said, no matter what being they are, they all understand these numbers. And this is the beauty of the signs that God has given us. We are not going to take a Quran to somebody and say, why don't you count these stuff? If the guy says, well, I don't know Arabic, I'm sorry, go learn Arabic. Okay? No, we're not going to say that. We want to talk to somebody from the our satellite galaxy, the Large Magellanic Cloud. Okay? We want to talk to somebody in there with this language. And then he says, yes, sir, I believe. Because if that guy was sincere, just like those jinns that you had the last time, remember? He said, be quiet and listen. They learned. They learned to be quiet and they listened. That's the beauty of it. So this is the structure I'm trying to tell you, that it generates the parameters of the Quran. When we see those, when we actually, and all of these things can be put in a spreadsheet, okay? An Excel file, if you will. And in those Excel files, you can count all of these things. You can count the number of word Allah. You see which verse actually contains which frequency of the word Allah. You can see the number of verses. You can even count the number of letters in there. Kind of ha-mems, you can count them in there, and it gives you in every chapter, it gives you all those numbers. Okay? But all of those things are at disposal now. Okay? That's the beauty of it. And we should be grateful. We should praise and glorify God. And He's glorified, okay? I mean, no matter what people do, it doesn't make any difference. God says that, it says willingly or unwillingly. Okay? Everybody is prostrating to God. As we said, those people who keep doing the Al-Fatiha, every time you do Al-Fatiha, they say 9127, without even knowing that. They are doing unwillingly, but they are still prostrating to God. Every time they do Al-Fatiha, they say 9127. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and we'll finish our Jummah. Allahu Kabir.